Lightning in a bottle, I think I just found my perfect sound. Can you see the fire in my eyes? Bitch, it's burning now. Lightning in a bottle, I think I just found my perfect sound. Can you see the fire in my eyes? Bitch, it's burning now.
Yo, how you living? How you feeling? How you doing?
We're living.
Voice Fantasy, and we're back today with our post-draft, post-NFL draft, a week or two later, rookie rankings. We're going to be doing part one today, which is quarterbacks and running backs. Alex and Brandon, say what's up.
What's going on?
Notice you had Lawrence at 3. I love it.
Yeah, it's a little spicy, but
I refuse to put him below Justin Fields, but I can get behind it.
That's fair. We'll get into that. But while you're here, like, comment, share, subscribe, and also check out firstchoicepodcast.com, where 2 articles up at the moment. Alex's article about rookies and why you should draft them in redraft, I believe. Maybe.
Honestly, you should draw your own conclusions from that, because I'm not going through and checking where literally every player ever has performed relative to expectations like I did with the rookies, because that would require like an infinite amount of time. And if anyone else wants to do that, you knock yourself right out. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you got to draw your own conclusions, but there are conclusions to be drawn.
So the conclusion is in the eye of the beholder. Am I incorrect on that one? I'm correct on that one. All right. Yeah. And then the second article is post-draft rookie rankings for me and Cam.
Basically what this is, but in written form.
And 2 others with you and Brandon. But let's get into quarterbacks, I suppose, while we're here. Number 1, consensus is Trevor Lawrence. Anybody got any comments on that?
Yeah, as I said, to me, Lance is 1 if I know he's the starter, but I don't know he's the starter going into next season. And even if we're talking like dynasty, I'm still going to put the guy at 1 that I think is going to play, because there's a season next season, believe it or not. But I'd Lawrence at 1, although Lance would be there if I were to be guaranteed that he was going to be the week 1 starter, which I think he should be, but we have no promises of this.
I considered Lance at 1, but it's just, to me, it's just, I feel like the 49ers run it more. And I think that Lance...
With Trey Lance.
Well, with Raheem Mostert and their army of running backs that they now have. And I think Lawrence got Travis Etienne, who can be a pass threat. And then you've got Shark and all those weapons. I mean, they literally just signed Tim Tebow, so that's going to be something to...
Nothing like those 33-year-old developmental tight ends.
I mean, hey, Logan Thomas.
Man.
He's what Tim Tebow is living up to be.
So Tim Tebow has a picture of Logan Thomas on his wall right now.
I just think that Lawrence will have a lot of success throwing the ball, and I think I don't know. At the end of the day, I think that is going to be enough to get him over the rest of these.
Just because the consensus is Lawrence, Lance, Fields, Wilson, Jones. We universally had Wilson, Jones at 4 or 5 because that's just how it is. And if you don't like it, pound sand. But Ed.
All right, so my top 3 are Fields, Lance, and Lawrence.
Love it.
Spicy, but at the same time, this is the reasoning, right? It's kind of like a clickbait, in all honesty. I think they're all about equal, but I would give the edge to both Lance and Fields. Obviously, I did in my rankings. I think Fields... I kind of wanted to do it also to not be stale and just be the same old, Lawrence, Fields, Lance, or Lawrence, Lance, Fields. It's like, you see Lawrence up there all the time, and it's like, but why? I just want an explanation as to why.
He's good.
Fields and
Although we have seen time and time again that frequently the dude that is supposed to be the best guy isn't always the best guy, because especially when we're talking quarterbacks are very hard to evaluate. It's not like an offensive lineman where it's just, did he push the other guy backwards? There's like a billion different factors out there. So honestly, I don't see an issue. I don't really think it's necessarily clickbaity, or I don't think it's being different just for the sake of being different when there's a very good chance that there will be a different outcome than what we expected.
I do like Fields.
Justin Herbert. I think Justin Herbert last year is a prime example.
Prime example. Although there's a fuck ton of them if you want to go back year after year.
Yeah.
And with Fields, I mean, he's the only one who has like, well, you can say Lance does too with Ayuk. He's kind of there at that level of A-Rod, but not completely there. And then Kittle, obviously, being probably the best weapon of all three teams. But the fact that Justin Fields has that go-to wide receiver in Allen Robinson, like a star wide receiver, unlike the other two. I mean,
Man, maybe Lawrence will too.
maybe
Maybe this is the Chark breakout season, or maybe this is the Chenault breakout season, or maybe Elijah Moore steps in and finishes as the wide receiver 12 in fantasy this season, which that will happen. Book it, write it down.
That's
save
exactly
it.
what I'm saying.
I mean,
you notice you had all those maybes in there. We have one guarantee: Allen Robinson is a superstar.
I'll let you in on a little secret of mine. When I was moving back in the Fantasy Freaks Dynasty draft, my intentions were to draft Justin Fields. But I think the media got to me, and like all of like him falling back in the draft, and I think that legitimately played a role in me drafting Lawrence at I think it was.
Here you go, ladies and gentlemen. Brandon is a sheep. That is the conclusion to draw from this.
I went with the safe pick. That's all.
I'd have taken him, but I got my guy. So
You got to go with the insider sometime, Brandon. So I mean, I understand it.
Yeah.
all right, any more quarterback takes? I know we just glazed over Wilson and Jones, but like rightfully so.
Wilson's growing on me. Solely because I mean, this is going to be very, very like contradictory to my statement I'm going to have later. But what did Brandon say last week with the Lions? There's a questionable it's not questionable.
Oh, it's unknown.
Exactly.
There's an unknown to
with
him.
the Jets. Then again, it is the Jets,
Sure.
but they're still an unknown. And I think Wilson also has a little bit of unknown to himself as well.
I say the unknown of Wilson is what I fear, because like, you know, and I guess you could say the same thing about Lance and his lack of like Power 5 competition, but I feel like Lance played better than Wilson. But
The unknown,
potato.
how you take the unknown is all subjective, and I'm going to take it. I'm growing. That's the thing. I'm growing on Wilson's growing on me. I mean, I had him I hated him because he's that California kid and that baby face. But like, the more and more I start to like learn about him, it's kind of like, some of these negatives aren't so much negatives, or some of these like thoughts that I had about him aren't so negative. They're kind of in the middle, kind of growing up.
Yeah, I feel like if you're doing a draft or something, especially like if it's a rookie draft, and you end up with Wilson instead of one of the top 3 guys, or you end up taking Jones super late, I don't think you should necessarily be super upset or like panic and throw those guys away for other stuff. I think you should just wait it out and see what happens, because the truth is we really don't fucking know. And maybe Mac Jones is the best quarterback out of all of these guys. I wouldn't bet on it, but it could.
Possibilities are endless.
I think Jones's landing spot is the best, like possible landing spot for him as a player.
Hell, maybe
I don't know. I feel like
Kellen Mond
under Belichick is something. Maybe it's just a myth. It was.
I feel like Belichick typically is pretty good at getting the best out of his players.
That's why I'm kind of excited for Stevenson.
I'm excited. I do the exact opposite, because I know how this man treats running backs. But speaking of running backs,
let's get into
it. We'll talk about some running backs. All right, I'll just go down through the consensus first. We did 10 because we did 10. And if you think we should have done 12, then you're wrong. Najee at 1, ETN 2, Javonte Williams at 3, Michael Carter 4, pretty chalky so far. Trey Sermon 5, Kenneth Gainwell at 6, although I think the ceiling is decently high on that. Stevenson 7, Elijah Mitchell 8, Chuba Hubbard at 9, and Javion Hawkins at 10. May or may not be a real person. Don't know, but he's at 10.
It's the Hawkman.
Yeah, man. You're the only one who ranked him.
I am the only one that ranked him. Did I rank a fake person? We shall find out. Tune into the – hey, that gives you a reason to watch the Falcons next season outside of Kyle Pitts.
Well, I like that decision to rank Hawkins. Really, my bottom 2 with Evans and Hubbard, was just picking what do I think's the best backup running back. I think Joe Mixon has the most history of being injured often. So I thought Evans fits 9 pretty well, and plus Bernard's gone, and Evans has a fairly decent pass catching history. So I figured Evans played a role.
No dope.
He's not even in the freaking top 10. Jeez, I didn't even notice that.
Dokes
He's my 9.
running back.
So
Yeah, Hawkins is my 8. So
Dokes is my 10.
Hawkins
8
is
is
on my dynasty
not.
bench. So I hope he's your 8, the real 8. I hope he's the real 8.
Nothing. All right. I'm gonna start at I'll be honest here. I know you guys, or at least you, Brandon, like Stevenson, but to me, after 6, I don't give a shit. Because I think even if Stevenson ends up getting snaps, he's not going to get enough of them to really do anything other than generate a little hype. Really, same thing with like Elijah Mitchell. I just can't, unless like the San Francisco backfield like gets in a car crash. I don't really see it. Like Chuba becomes more important if McCaffrey goes down, and like maybe they'll give him some carries straight away just because. But and then Hawkins down there 10. I really, out of all of those guys, has like the best odds of like getting a high roll only because like I don't even know who the hell's on Atlanta other than Mike Davis and like Ito Smith or some shit.
Ito Smith got cut, but they have this man named Caleb Huntley.
Yeah, I saw you pick him up and then drop him.
Caleb Huntley is essentially just another Javion Hawkins.
I picked him up. No, he's like a big boy. He's a big boy, so he's different.
No, I just mean he's another Javion Hawkins in the sense that he's just like chilling down there at the bottom of the roster.
And he runs like, I know this doesn't really matter that much, but I've seen his 40 time. And I think it was like a 4.89, which is just very, very laughable. He went to a small school though, so that's the only. There's what is the word, Brandon? What is the word you just said?
Unknown.
There's unknown to him.
Unknown.
So I mean, I like to think positively, but I dropped him, so it's negative now. But
so it's negative.
Almost.
I don't know. I think his name's not even Caleb Huntley, to be honest with you, but it is what it is.
You picked him up, and then you just dropped him without even like picking up another. Yeah.
Well, I dropped him because I made a trade. No,
didn't I see you pick up another guy? I swear I saw you.
I traded away Hunter Renfrow, so I got another bench space.
And then you picked up a guy who's not him.
Who's not him? Yeah, you're right.
I don't even remember his name.
Amir Smith-Marset. Anyway, let's get back on these running backs. Let's get back on the running backs. Okay, so the discrepancy here that I want to point out is the fact that I have Sermon at 4, while you guys both have Carter at 4. I think they're both in the same tier. I think it's a fair flip-flop, whatever you want to call it. But I mean, at the same time, you'll see in my article on firstchoicepodcast.com, kind of go to war for Trey Sermon. Also, the video I posted, well, actually, today is Tuesday. It's getting posted tomorrow. It's with Cam, and we kind of go over that article. We kind of went back and forth about it, and he was talking about, I forget what he was talking about, but we talked about it. I completely forgot. We talked about it, and I think Trey Sermon has a very, he's in a great situation. And Michael Carter, you can say, is in the same situation, if not better, because of the fact that all he has competition-wise is Tevin Coleman and Ty Johnson, who they seem to like a lot. But
season starts.
Very, very big. Well, yeah, that's fair. Is he?
He averages 2.9 yards per carry.
And he was worth that first-round pick you got for him. I'll tell you what. But yeah, I don't know where I was going.
I forget. Jay Ajayi was in that trade.
Fucking Jay Ajayi, bro. Speaking of which,
my difference between Carter and Sermon is clear as day to me. It's the opportunity. That's what it is. I don't care
both of them are. Go ahead, Brandon.
I don't care if the offense with Sermon is run heavy. It could be they could run the whole game, but they have. I mean, they have an army of running backs. I mean, they have Mostert, Jeffrey Wilson, Wayne Gallman, Sermon.
They're nobodies.
Elijah Mitchell.
I hate to say this, they're all nobodies. Like, before the Shanahan system, like, they're all undrafted free agents, practice squad players that performed. Yeah, sure, give them that. They performed. In the Shanahan offense, you can't give him too much credit. Like
And
it's
now you've got somebody.
you
What
got
does a
somebody they
somebody
traded
do
up
with a
for.
bunch of nobodies?
They traded up for, and then okay, it just irritates me because I got in this argument on Twitter the other day. This guy said that Trey Sermon is battling for I think the running back 4 gig
I mean, I
with
don't agree
Wayne
with that.
Gallman. With Wayne Gallman, a 3rd-round rookie that they just traded up for. He's going to battle with this guy who signed an $800,000 contract, which is the cheapest of all the running backs they have on their roster. Just blows me away. It blows me away. It's not true. Trey Sermon's running back 4, running back 5, consensus league, whatever you want to say it is, but he's in a great place. Great place.
I like the passion.
See,
though.
I just took Carter because I just think Carter's the better player. But
And
I'm prepared to be wrong.
Okay, never mind. Yeah, that's fair. That's completely fair, and I respect that. And I think they're in the same tier, to be honest. I don't think.
I mean, I have them in the same tier-ish as well.
Wait, what'd you say?
Said I would also put them like in that. To me, like Harris, Etienne, Javonte Williams are the 3 guys that I think should command like pretty decent volume pretty quickly, especially in Najee Harris's case. To me, in Etienne's case as well, even if I'm not buying this, like James Robinson's not going to be the freaking bell cow, or they're not using Etienne only on 3rd down. Like that man will take that pretty quickly. Like,
Did you hear what Meyer said? He said that James Robinson and Carlos Hyde are the 1-2 punch, and then Etienne's Carlos Hyde. Yeah,
Carlos Hyde. Yeah, Carlos Hyde.
Yes.
But yeah,
I love it.
Javonte probably gets a lot of the early down work, and I guess they'll use Gordon as a receiving threat, which maybe Javonte falls to like 4 or 5 of this by the end of the season. But to me, then there's like a little bit of a tier break, and then like Carter, Sermon, Gainwell. I guess you could say even Stevenson too, or like you're hoping they make the most out of their touches. And I feel like Carter, Sermon, and Gainwell are more likely to do that than those other dudes below them. I also don't think Stevenson's going to get as many touches.
I like that.
I heard
what you just said.
that Sony Michel get cut.
I believe that.
Good.
I think it will happen.
Hasn't really proven anything.
I think Damian Harris will still have a role. I think Stevenson
he's
just
the
has
starter.
the red zone looks. I do.
How much is that worth?
I do.
Patriots.
Oh, a ton. I mean, once Cam Newton's out of there, I think that is worth.
See, though, but
pretty good.
They're
amount.
not going to give one guy just the red zone carries, I don't think. Like,
exactly, yeah.
It's just not a New England thing to do. If he was on a different
Cam
team.
Newton did last season.
He's the fucking quarterback.
Exactly.
They're not rotating quarterbacks on the field. We're gonna.
I don't know. A few games they were rotating.
We're gonna put in Jared
quarterbacks.
Stidham.
Have Mac Jones hand the ball off to Cam Newton.
Brian Hoyer's out there running.
Hoyer's gonna come. They're gonna bring in the other guy. I would love that. A team that just cycles in quarterbacks. like they're running backs.
That might be what the 49ers will be doing.
That's the future of the position.
Yeah.
Just 4 guys that are just interchangeable.
Hey, I think
then you'll have these dumbass coaches that have the one guy that just throws the deep ball, and then they'll come out and he'll throw an interception every time because the other team's like, all right, well, obviously going deep.
I mean, if Eagles drafted a quarterback, I would like to see it. Hurts and like Fields out there at the same time. That'd be exciting. What are they gonna do?
At least they can both do shit.
Yeah. Well, aside from we moved on from quarterback.
Yeah, I don't think we're. Yeah.
I have a question about. Well, you probably already said it, and I think you did. But any reason why you have Herbert at 9 and Mitchell is not in your top 10?
I just like Herbert.
Fair. That's all I needed to hear.
It's really all it is, and I don't. And like. Again, I like this could change if, like I had mentioned, the entire San Francisco like running back room gets in a car crash. But to me, Elijah Mitchell is the guy battling with Wayne Gallman for like RB5 on that team. Like as long as Mostert is upright, he's in the top ish. And then I would imagine they're not
carries with
playing Mitchell over Wilson immediately, unless like Mitchell's just blowing people away in training camp. And then there's Sermon, and then there's Gallman, who I feel like is a serviceable running. He's obviously nothing special, but like he's a serviceable running back, and I don't know if Elijah Mitchell is going to be a serviceable running back in the NFL.
I think he has a couple hits, couple good plays, but
I think he has the ability to do so. I just don't know if he'll.
I explained in the video, and I think I explained in the article. I think Mitchell's ceiling is just up there, just because like we seen last year, the backfield you just got littered with injuries, and the fact that could happen again,
It could happen.
he could be right there. I mean, you seen Jeffrey Wilson. This dude came out of nowhere and literally just lit fantasy on fire for a couple weeks there, and it's like, where the hell did he come from? Well, you know where he came from, practice squad, and you know where he
Elijah
went.
Mitchell train.
The 49ers, but that's my, I don't know.
It came down to him and Hawkins for the last spot on the list, and I gave it to Hawkins. If the players were I feel like Mitchell is better than Hawkins, so like that should play a part. So like I could see it, but also like I said, after like 6, it's just meh to me. So I mean, I could throw Mitchell on that list and not really give a shit one way or the other.
I would say after 9, it's kind of meh to me. I think there is a solid 9. I mean, given there is like 5 tiers in that 9, but I think that Hubbard, Stevenson, Gainwell, Mitchell, Carter, all of them kind of like serve their purpose at their current price. Like Hubbard, like you said, to back up CMC in the 3rd round, that's not a bad price at all.
Yeah.
Stevenson, the fact that, yeah, he's in New England, that's kind of like a bleh. But the fact that he could still see a decent amount of touches, in an offense where you could possibly get the goal line. Where I mean, there's some. Obviously, he's not going the first, not going in the early second. He's like a 3rd round pick as well, and like his value's there. You know what I mean?
It's one of those guys where you're saying at the beginning of the 3rd, it's like, are you going to throw a flyer out on one of these, large receiver? Oh, I'm going to just.
I'd probably rather do that. Yeah.
Really? See, that's
Yes.
shocking to me. I'd rather just get a guy that I could see myself like in a pinch being able to start.
I just don't know if Stevenson's really going to be on the field all that much. I don't know what he does that Damian Harris does not also do, but better.
I think year 1, I agree. I think he's more of a long-term thing, personally. I think he has more of a value.
That's fair,
once
but that's
Cam
why I would
leaves.
drop him. That's why he would go lower in the ranking to me. Because to me, if he barely gets used next season, it's going to be like some Eno Benjamin shit where he's just floating out there to be grabbed if you want him later.
I think there's a chance he has a game or 2 that actually looks good, like 12 fantasy points or so, and that's where you capitalize on the 3rd round value. You know, you get a 2nd round out of that. You know what I mean?
I mean, if someone does that, then yeah, you take it.
Well, I mean, he's so unique. I'm sure there will probably be takers out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Personally, I'd rather just bet on the receiver. But like, if we're talking late 3rd, now we're talking.
Now we're talking. Now we are speaking words.
We're then talking at that point.
Speaking of talking, you were listening to us today. You can also check out articles on firstchoicepodcast.com. Alex, I thought you were going to say something. I guess you are. Go ahead.
No, it's fine.
All right.
There was nothing of importance.
All right. There's no other words left for these running backs. Anybody?
Okay, fuck it. I'll say it. I was just going to say that I keep hearing this shit about everyone's talking about how Gainwell is supposed to be the best of those Memphis running backs. I don't necessarily know about that, given what Gibson has showed. But to me, if he's like 75% of that, he's going to have immediate fantasy relevance, even if it waits till midseason. But
yeah, I like Gainwell. But
it helps that my team drafted him. But I'm coming around a little bit on him, especially I feel like. Depend on if this coach is competent or not, but we'll see. But yeah, that was all I had.
Alrighty, that's all he has. Check out firstchoicepodcast.com. Check out us on Twitter. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe because we only got 59. One more until 6. That's a big chef's kiss. Without further ado, wait for part 2 tomorrow. First Choice Fantasy signing out. Deuces.
Later.